Hi, I'm Nadia.
And I'm Connie.
And this is
Wonder Womb.
This is episode 7 where we talk about PCOS, healing the body, and love.
Yes.
So, Connie, what was it like coming out of the pandemic, being reborn, and wanting to, slay the world?
Right? Single and ready to mingle.
Let's do this. Okay, so I'm really excited to talk to you about how you navigate your healing, coming out of PCOS, and relationships and love. So let's rewind a bit. You're coming out of the pandemic, returning to the city. What's Connie doing? What's Connie feeling?
Right. So I had the impetus to come back around Labor Day and with 3 goals. First of all, chopped off all my hair. I think that's an important fact.
Okay.
Facts. Okay. And then I was going to make the biggest breakthrough in my career, in my finances, and meet my partner, meet my man.
Okay.
I knew it. I came back and I was like, coming in strong. Like that. Setting those goals.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What happened next?
Right.
Tell me everything.
Yes. Okay. So So I was like, you know what? I want to move into a new place as well with one of my best friends. And from there also, I went and did a communication course. And in that communication course, there was this other course called to build teams in your life, a leadership course as well. And I was like, I'm doing that, and I'm gonna go in and I swear to God, I'm gonna meet my partner in this program. I will. I was like, I don't know how, but I know it. And so it's around March of 2021.
Yeah.
And I'm fully ready to be oh my gosh, making the biggest breakthrough in my career. Let's keep going with this that I had created, out of the during that 2020 time. And then I go into this course, and then I have this coach. He's just whatever. and then throughout that time, just in the first 3 months, it's a whole year program, right? And it's broken up into 3 months, and in the first 3 months, I booked 2 movies, and then a commercial and a web series.
Oh wow!
And then a short film, and then my first animation. So that was really fun. So yeah, it was a lot of stuff just came to fruition, and then started dating my coach after that. Wait, once he was done, he was also graduating the program. But why don't you just sum up what's the last year?
Yeah, but I guess if you're coming back to the city with this, you chop off your hair, getting rid of weight,
Mm-hmm.
old you, cutting hair can be symbolic, means a lot of things. Why do you think you started to attract all this work opportunity, and then what changed in you to be suddenly my friends and I use an analogy of having our taxi lights on when you're ready for a relationship, so your taxi light is on, how especially after the pandemic when everyone's just
it's true. It's
waking
true.
up.
Yeah. First of all, something to say about my hair. Why I make a huge thing about it is because I had this whole thing where I thought to be a woman I had to have long hair.
Oh, okay, that's a big,
right.
Okay.
And then if I cut off my hair, I'm gonna be ugly.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was something that I was working through. And then I just cut off my hair. I'm see, I'm not dead. And
yeah.
I feel incredible. So, that vibe, that sort of energy of, I love myself and I feel light. Of course I was booking like crazy because, I love, I love who I am. I love how I appear. And it was an adjustment for, most people in my life, especially my agent. She was like, you cut your hair? And so she had a whole thing. But then, of course, I'm just, working all the time. It actually didn't have to do with anything. I was just yeah, because I love me. So I think that also helped too in creating who I am as a woman, as like a high value woman.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, in 2019, I did, I got a love and dating coach. Okay. And in that program, I was able to get empowered around dating again, like in a new context, not bring in all the crap that from my past. Yeah. And what was great was, like, she was talking about, like, list the core values of your partner. Okay. And then list, like, your preferences, right? And there's a difference. Core values is, like, you know, committed to growth and, like, has integrity. Okay. Whereas preference is, like, I don't know, like, it's hot.
Looks like Brad Pitt.
Yeah. Stuff like that. That doesn't need to really be there.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at this list, and I was like, oh, wow, like, I gotta be like this, too.
That's key.
Yeah. So that's, for me, is, like, showing up with integrity, you know, with my life, and being confident myself, and then, like, treating myself with value and love, and especially as a woman, like, you can wake up in the mornings, be so dark, with, like, the self-deprecating thoughts, for sure, and it's just, like, retuning, realigning myself every day is, like, my job in the mornings. I go off somewhere when I sleep.
That's real.
Yeah, it's like I forget who I am. I wake up and I'm like, I'm not good enough. Or something happens. I'm
like, it's almost like rebooting, turning on.
Exactly. So that's something that I've taken on just as like a daily thing. You know, whether that be through meditating or like just like talking to myself out loud in the shower. I'm like, I am this. I am confident. I am beautiful. Or journaling, right? And doing like the morning pages will just like,
when they were sort of showing up. Yeah.
Yes.
But I love how you said, I feel like as women, when we get advice about dating and manifesting or attracting your mate, it's always on the guy. Like, the list is always about the guy or the, you know, whoever you might be interested in. It's always about the other outside of yourself. But it's so powerful. And I've heard this elsewhere as well, that you should want to reflect what you want to attract. So when you said, like, you have your list of your values and things that are nice to have, but then you turned on yourself in terms of, like, am I being these things? Like, was it hard? Was it easy?
Yeah, I mean, it's, like, confronting and, definitely confronting, because I was just like, ooh, I can see that I am this, but there's stuff to work through. Yeah. You know? And I was also coming from, like, a needy place as well. Like, this is what I want, but not actually realizing what do I have to offer as your partner.
What do you have to offer? Yeah.
Yeah, and then once it's like a switch, right, in who I'm being and seeing myself as, like, the opportunity for love and, like, partnership and fun and adventure, all that stuff. Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, that's who I am for you. Like, we forget instead of being like, you gotta be like this.
For me.
Yeah, for me. But I'm like, no, this is who I am for you. Like, do you want it? You know, like that. Like, do you want to have fun?
I love it. Yeah, I love that.
So, definitely, like, that was a great switch in my own self-confidence as a partner.
What else did you change? So you shared throughout the series about how you approach relationships before, like, you know, minimizing, the pressure of being a good girlfriend, losing your voice. So what were you maybe affirming before going in that you're like, I'm going to be this Connie?
Yeah, it's like full on, like, self-expressed and authentic, and like, everything's just out on the table.
What does that mean?
Okay, so it's like, this is what I want. Like, I want to get married. I want to have kids.
Okay.
I'm, like, here to be an actress. Like, those are just, like what I want in life for myself. And then, like, are you okay with my job being like this as well? Because that was a concern.
Yes.
And I think that also came from, like, my mom and my dad being like, you need to have a 9-to-5 job. Like, what man would want to be with you because it's so chaotic, it's so hectic. Like, how are you going to raise kids like that? And I'm like, oh. But then you look at, like, all the celebrities and all the actors out there, and they're just doing it. Like, and it's like, great. It's amazing. It's actually more freedom and ease. If you really think about it. Yeah, and it's a possibility. So, but laying that out as well is important. Just to say it instead of hiding that. Yeah. Because I think before I'd be like, oh, I shouldn't say that. But I think it's, like, a lack of, like, me not thinking that I'm worthy of what I want. too. Like, I never believed that I could have a partner who would want what I want.
Wow.
Yeah. I think that's what was really there. I was like, oh, I'm like, he won't. My coach is like, what do you mean? like why? It's what you want.
Yeah. What? I like that energy when people are like, why wouldn't that be possible? And you're like, oh.
Right. Yeah.
So how did you navigate sharing with your partner about your PCOS this time around? Like, how did you approach it differently?
I did. And it's still like a level of me being like, I don't want to say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like,
yeah, making it so significant and like such a burden on others, and like my partner's just like, what? But I remember when I even had this idea for Wonder Womb, like I was stopped to even like do it fully because I thought he would have a whole thing around it.
Wow.
And then it's not the case at all, because when I shared it with him, he's like, yeah, this is amazing. Like, you're gonna like empower so many women out there, right? And it's never what I think it is.
That's the first lesson.
That's definitely, so it's like, you gotta share, even if it's, no matter how uncomfortable it is, it's just like being vulnerable, is really like our superpower, I think, as humans. Yeah. So there's that. And then what else was it?
Like, are you more honest?
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to, well, yeah. Well, he's helping behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So, but like,
hey, John.
But before, like, even with your friendships, you weren't forthcoming. You know, you were trying to fix yourself internally. Like, how do you approach it now?
It's true. Yeah, around like my period and PCOS. Like, I felt before I would also hide my experience, like, of my period as well. And I think with like my boyfriend now, I've been more willing to like show him like what it's like the full raw experience, that it is like a whole like roller coaster for me, at least. Like, it's a full day of like, it's like a pain, being with the pain, and then I'm like down, and I'm like not fully there, and I need to like sleep, and then it's just like a whole like 6 hours of that, and having him see me is really important. And it's like, why didn't I show this before with anyone else? So I don't hide that kind of raw side of me anymore. If anything, it only like I just feel more love. I'm actually just more, that's a shift. It's like, I think I'm like receptive of love and contribution in a new level. Yeah, and that's like the constant like area of growth, is it's like, can I receive his love? Like, Connie, like, come on, like, Connie, receive his love. Like, he wants you to feel good, like, during this time. Like, he wants to help you and have you be like a flourishing woman. It. Exactly. So even just being with periods, like, that's a whole thing. And then like sharing with him like what it's like my experience of having PCOS, what it's been like, everything. It's like, I've been very like honest and like open about it, and just like, it's just what's there. And I don't need to make a whole like a story about it. It's just like, no, these are the facts. So that's really great too. Like, there's nothing, I'm not stopped in my sharing around it.
Whereas before you were, or you...
Yeah, because I would have like this story about like, oh, no one wants to hear that, or like you're like scrapped or something. Like, there's something wrong with me, so like who would want me? So maybe I'm just gonna pretend like I'm perfect and then not share. Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm like sitting there like a ball of inauthenticity, like, I haven't got my period, or like just stuff like that, like things like worries like that I can share. I'm like, oh, I haven't got my period, or like, I think I'm supposed to get my period in a week. Just stuff like that I can be more open about. It's just great. I just feel so free. Oh. Yeah. That's how I know I'm in love. I'm like, I'm free. Yeah.
And how do you feel in this relationship now? Like, how does like, what version of Connie is showing up?
Definitely like powerful, unleashed, and vulnerable, more direct as well, and open to communication, like more and more. I always learn, right? Like, there's always something more to learn about what I'm communicating, or like who I'm being in this relationship. But it's like, at the end of the day, I get to go to bed feeling accomplished and fulfilled and self-expressed because I've said everything I needed to say, and that's just been that's been
rare
like
for people.
That's been like commitment for the like being in this leadership program as well, and just like my life, like I want to live a high quality life, and to me that's what it is. Like I get to be myself, especially with the people that I love. Like no hiding. And I don't
that's
get
where
to,
it should happen.
Yeah, I don't get to withhold my love either, which is really great as well. So I just feel so free and like clear. So that's how I feel like in my relationship right now, and I'm like so. Yeah, I just so love him. And I love who I get to be when I'm with him. I think that's...
That's... Because I wasn't there in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I don't... Like, you were not authentically you. Your voice was hidden.
Mm-hmm.
You probably didn't like it, who you were being. So now that you love yourself... and you have...
Right?
Yeah. That's powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah! I'm like, I can be anybody, anything, say whatever I want, and like, okay, good. And I get to hear myself. I think that's what it is, too. I get to hear my own truth.
Okay.
I get to hear me. Like, I value my voice.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't there before.
No. So I was just like pushing it down. Like, there's something wrong with what I'm experiencing or who I am. Yeah. And that's not to say that I don't have those days.
No. Yes.
Like, I swear to God, I wake up every morning and I'm like, where did I go off to last night?
And then I have to recalibrate and realign. I know, yeah.
So it's like that. But now it's like, okay, this is what it is. This is life. This is what we do. Keeping it empowered. Like, let's go be empowered. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's the womb like when it's in love, you think? What does that feel like for you, being in love?
I have a lot of ideas. I feel creative. I feel confident, and then like when I don't, I can share that.
You be vulnerable.
Exactly, and it gets me back into being like, oh yeah, like I'm not doing this alone. Like, oh yeah, I'm not a piece of crap. Like that kind of thing.
You're not a piece of crap.
Yeah, and I can ask him to help too. Like, that's also something too, that ask for support, asking for assistance. I wasn't doing that before either. Like, I'm like, I've got it down.
Yeah.
Like, I was also in a relationship before with a man where I was taking on a lot of those masculine qualities that we've been talking about.
Okay.
It's like, okay, I gotta be the breadwinner. Okay, I gotta go do. And it's like, of course that doesn't work. So, of course, my ovaries were just like, meh.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now I can, like, rest. And I'm like, he's got it. He's great. I'm like the heavy lifting is like not for me.
Yes.
Like I can get that now. Like I could like sit back and be like, that's actually not for me to.
Yeah.
It actually doesn't work.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or you pick up the weight that you're supposed to pick up and then ask for help and receive from.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
It's a dance, but like really getting what he needs to feel powerful. Like, of course, we both want to be powerful.
Yeah.
So like I can sit my butt down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like what Sarah was saying. It's like
sharing.
The woman wakes up and she's worthy.
And just that's what that's the root of what changed for you. You're you're recalibrating, figuring yourself out when you wake up, but then you get to like, I'm worthy.
Yep.
I'm receiving. I'm in love. I'm doing this. I love me.
Yeah.
Look at this. What's there for you? Okay, so John's part of our crew, the Wonder Room crew.
Yeah, hey.
I guess what's there for you to like say to the camera / to John?
Oh my God.
Acknowledging.
I can't.
Okay.
This is so much right now. Well, okay, what there is to say, I'm like, I'm very comfortable right now. Thank you for asking me that question.
You're welcome.
Around like my own healing, especially around like polycystic ovarian syndrome and like my diet, like, you know, it's really just expressing what I want and like expressing that I'm here to heal it. And, you know, John's just been so great, like, just receiving it and just getting my world. I think that's what's been really great. Like, he's a great listener, and that's support in itself, because then I can hear myself. Like, I can hear my voice. What I'm committed to, I'm like, yeah, okay, now I'm gonna go on, I'm gonna go do it. Or I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go be it. I'm like, yeah. And there I'm like, yes, I'm so accomplished. I'm so fulfilled. I'm
Yeah.
like so expressed. I'm like, this is great. And that's really it. It's not about the things that I have or, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, how do I feel being myself?
How do you feel being yourself?
It's like the true accomplishment.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah!
We did it! Woo!
Love.
Yeah.
I love this episode. Thank you so much for watching it. Don't forget to like and subscribe below and to follow us on iTunes and Spotify.
And you could share this with the women in your life. At least 2. Yeah. Give them that love.
Bye.